Hello everyone. So one of the questions that I got from the internet was about the processors and effects that I used on this album, so I figured the best thing would just give everybody a little tour. Most of the guitar here was done on my Les Paul. It's a Les Paul Classic. Just actually have it down here because I was setting it up. There's also a couple of the guitar parts were done with the Telecaster. None really done with the Legacy there, so pretty much Telecaster and a Les Paul. Over here in the closets, where I kind of have my closet of fun, has all the processors. The iPad, you can see the box right there. iPad was actually huge on this album. Most all of the synthesizers that you hear were done with an iPad. And in fact, I actually forego using a lot of the analog guitar processors that I have on this record in particular because I had such awesome sounds from the iPad. Here's one of my favorites here. This is an old Digitech Whammy 2 pedal, and this was actually given me by Bruce Marshall, apparently originally owned by Bobby Fripp. That's actually featured on this record. There's the Hog you can see in the box back over there. The Hog was used on this record quite a bit. Every time that you hear some kind of synthesized guitar sound, overtones, higher lower octaves, it was the Hog. Moger Foger, I got a couple Moger Fogers, but I don't think they were really used much at all on this album. I want to say the Solo, I think in Iron and Blood has the low pass filter on it. That might be it. Now here's something I actually just dug out. This is my old Clone Theory. You can see this is an original 70s Clone Theory. You can tell by the power there. Chorus vibrato. And I actually dug this out. I'm going to be using this on some Random Battles tracking and for our live show coming up at Comic-Con in Denver. So that wasn't on the album, but that's one of my favorites. Specifically, the internet question was about electro-harmonics. You can see I've got quite a few of those. I really like them, and they were used a lot on this album. The muff found its way into a couple places in Milankovitch Cycles. The nasty guitar part, that's a big muff, along with the Hog. Memory Man is definitely hands down my favorite delay. That's kind of all over this album. Like a lot of my records. Down here you can see the Space Echo there. The Boss Roland Space Echo. That's used probably here and there on the record just for some ambience kind of thing. I like to use that a lot, although that can also get pretty wacky. The Pog I didn't really use the Hog instead. Same with the Microsynth. You can see I got a Crybaby, didn't really use that at all. There's a couple MXRs up there, a delay and a comp, didn't really use those either, or the Way Huge. So I actually have a lot more processors than I really used on this record. Like I was saying, the iPad is really what did it. I guess we take a quick look here at the front of the rack. Some of the guitar parts were modeled here through the Line 6, the Pod HD, which does a pretty okay job. You can see the mastering section here, that Clairphonic mastering EQ, and then also the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. Those were both used in the mastering and some of the mixing. You can see my Aurora down here, the Aurora 16. That was used for tracking, mixing, mastering, everything. There's that Crane song above that. That was used with the drums. Most of the vocals were tracked through this Great River pre, 500 series pre, and you can see the rest of these 500 series pre's. Those three there, the three classic APIs, these were mostly for the toms. Two Ericssons next to those were for overheads. So we tracked all the drums with this rig, just brought it into the studio space and used that to track. I did a lot of mixing with these Sony headphones. I really like these. These are the MDR 7506s. Really love them. But yeah, so not as many guitar effects as I'm typically used to using, and like I was saying, the reason for that, which I was able to get away with that and still have all the textures that I like all over the album, was to use the iPad. So I mean, I do highly recommend anybody that's into a lot of processing or a lot of effects to really check out what the iPad has to offer. They are very expensive to start just to buy one, but then the synthesizer apps for them can be as little as $5 to $10, and they sound just amazing. I highly recommend it. If you like a lot of the synthesized sounds that are on the album, I would say 90-95% of them were done with an iPad. Thanks.